still trying to track down that first college football playoff berth in program history. Obviously, this will be the second go of a 12-team playoff. So that's why I say, the wiggle room, probably don't have as much wiggle room as maybe you would have thought. You want to get into that Penn State game unbeaten, and if you could pick off that Penn State game and be unbeaten through that, man, now you're talking about a legitimate chance to get into the college football playoff. John asks, can we score enough points to beat Indiana? I think so, John, but obviously we don't know a ton about this Iowa offense yet. We're still hopeful. The offensive line situation is one reason to really feel good about the Hawkeyes going into this season when you think about the interior of that offensive line and then Jennings Dunker out at one of those tackle positions. That gives Iowa a nice starting block offensively. I think regardless of how much, Mark Gronowski is going to be a he's going to clearly raise the bar for Iowa offensively. That ceiling, he clearly rises and raises the ceiling just by stepping foot under center alone. So Gronowski is clearly going to be an upgrade for Iowa at the quarterback position. How much? How much does he upgrade the offense, and how explosive can they be? Reese Vanderzee, we're hearing a lot of good things right now, but physically sounds like he's much further along in that regard. And now it's about staying healthy, and it's in the doing, right? It's about going out and truly producing on a Saturday. And then around Reese Vanderzee, this collection of skill talent. Sam Phillips from Chattanooga, what type of addition is he? That obviously remains to be seen. I think Jacob Gill is set to flourish with Mark Gronowski now into the fold, because clearly this is going to be better. And the interior of that offensive line, some sorting out maybe to do at left tackle, at one of the two guard positions. You went and got George for a reason to help supplement some of that depth up front. So the hope would be that though you're losing Caleb Johnson, you're not just falling off a cliff with what you did offensively running the football last season. And if you can throw it, if you can now be legitimately a complementary offensive football team, able to throw the football to open up the run, it should do just that. So can you score enough points to beat Indiana? Yeah, I think so. And Indiana, right? It was a magical first year for Curt Cignetti, for Rourke and company. It was nationally a schedule that folks kind of maligned for being a softer Indiana schedule to race out to that quick 10-0 start before they met Ohio State. Obviously, taken out by Notre Dame in the college football playoff as well. So Indiana on that front has questions to answer of, can they go beat, if this is an Iowa team that is a legitimate top 25 team? And I'm not saying right here, right now, today, top 15, top 10 type Iowa team that's contending for the Big Ten championship. But if this is an Iowa outfit that is a legitimate top 25, top 20, up to that top 15, 20 to 15 range, then Indiana has some questions, I think, to answer about, can they go to Kinnick Stadium and win, right? Because you got to replace the quarterback. You brought, obviously, Mendoza over from Cal, and he was one of the coveted quarterbacks out of the transfer portal. But Indiana, I think we have a lot of respect for offensively what they're going to be long-term under Cignetti. But they have some questions to answer about how much staying power does that program have under Curt Cignetti. So do I think that Iowa can score enough points to beat Indiana? I do. I do right now today, though, obviously cognizant and mindful of Iowa has plenty of offensive questions to answer. Hawkeye Howard is in the house. Howard, what's up? Good evening. Hey, all my Hawkeye fans, no matter what, we got to beat Iowa State. Yes, I don't think I will get much pushback from Hawkeye fans on that front, that regardless of this, of if this is paint me a picture, Josh, to the college football playoff, I can't stomach another loss to Iowa State. So I'm with you. If it's just define a successful season for me. And I would say, with the optimism going into this thing, that to me, 9 wins or more is what I would define. And I'm talking regular season here. Add a bowl game win, get to that double figure mark, and all of a sudden we're talking 10 wins, right? If you can win a bowl game, regardless of if that's Big Ten championship game or bowl game versus whomever. If it's a college football playoff appearance with 9 wins, success probably has to include beating Iowa State, and I would say 9 games, just based on the optimism that I think Hawkeye fans have going into this thing. Not that it would be an entirely disappointing season if it winds up an 8-4 regular season. I just suspect that if at regular seasons end, we're talking about an 8-4 finish, then that could include a loss to Iowa State. And obviously it probably means you lost the 2 home games versus Penn State and Oregon. And maybe that means that we're still talking about, here's what that record looks like for Iowa against top 25 teams. And oh, by the way, here's that updated margin of defeat versus top 25 teams. So to me, the barometer for successful season probably means you got to that 9-win threshold. And it would include, obviously, the context of how it plays out, right?